So my friend and I are out doing some cold approaching with women, just for fun, just to test our confidence a little bit. But we have a spin on it, which I'll get to in a minute. And it's probably my third or fourth girl at this point that I'm talking to. I walk up to this girl and I try and start a conversation with her, but she is just fixated on her phone. Her eyes are locked on. She doesn't even look me in the eye once. She's giving me like 1, 2 word, 3 word responses to my questions. She does not want to talk to me. And that reminded me that if you are not a good listener in a conversation, you are not a good communicator. It is the most important thing. But this girl was not listening to me for a reason, which I'll get to in a minute. When you are in conversations with somebody, when you're listening to me right now, I want you to find the key words of my conversation. And by simply doing this, what I do this all the time, I simply reiterate what somebody just said. Let's say you're talking about going on a holiday to Bali. Oh yeah, bro, last week I went on a holiday to Bali and it was awesome, man. You would simply say, Bali. Tell me more about it. I haven't been there. I know this might sound really strange or just too simple, but trust me, this works. If you take the key words out of somebody's conversation and you simply repeat them, but say it in a tone that, acts as a question to them, trust me, bro, your conversations will flow much more natural. I do this all the time. And the reason I say that first is because if you are not a good listener when you speak to people, you're not going to be a good communicator. Listening is the foundation to the house. If that is not built, your communication, AKA the house, is just going to collapse. It's the foundation. Nobody sees it, but it reflects in the ability to build a great house, and that is the ability to, communicate. But let's go back to that day when I was going out and cold approaching women for the first time with my friend. The night before that, we were playing some PlayStation together, and it was a Friday night, and I'm like, bro, you want to meet up tomorrow, play some basketball or whatever? And he suggested, how about we meet up and we cold approach some women together? And bro, my heart started beating as soon as he said that, because if I said no, I just said I was free all day. If I said no, I was a pussy. If I said yes, I've just put myself in the most uncomfortable situation ever. I haven't really done this before. I am super scared. I said yes. I didn't want to be a pussy, but I suggested an idea that made the whole cold approaching process so much easier and so much less daunting. I suggested to him, how about we go up and talk to women, but we act as awkward as we possibly can in front of them. This gets rid of the need to perform, the anxiety to perform in front of a girl. If you stutter in a conversation, right? If your face goes red or you have that awkward silence, all of this doesn't matter. Simply because the goal of talking to women, because the goal of talking to people is to be as awkward as you possibly can. That is the challenge. And whenever the conversation was coming to an end, I would simply say to them, hey, that was a complete joke. I was trying to act as awkward as I possibly can while I was talking to you. My friend and I are just doing some stupid jokes. And sometimes the conversation would end there, or that would be a gateway to actually getting to know this girl. Nah. But in all seriousness, I want to get to know you more. What's your name? Or whatever, if I haven't, asked her name yet. But you don't need to do that. You can just end the conversation there if you want. This does a very, very good job at getting your mind used to being rejected, because when you become used to being rejected, you can go up and talk to girls without very much fear. If I went out and did that cold approaching thing again, it is not as daunting as I did the first time. But bro, no jokes. If you struggle with talking to women that much that you can't even say a word to them, grab one of your buddies, if you have one. If you don't have one, join an online community or something like that. Get one of the dudes in that community from your area, schedule a day, go out there, do this challenge with him, and get your mind used to rejection. Look, bro, I know it sounds fucked, you're just gonna embarrass yourself, but man, it is one of the best things I've ever done. And I can say that with pure confidence, all right? And once you do this, once you start to feel comfortable getting rejected, then actually try and talk to girls. And on top of that, another thing that has really helped my communication and just my confidence in general is when I'm out, going shopping or just I'm somewhere in public, right? And I see a store that I had like a semi-interest in. There might be a product in there that, I find interesting, and it's not packed with people that I can just go in there and the owner or the person at the register just says hi to me. I will go in there and just simply ask a question about a certain product that I find interesting. And that is such a good way to come up with a conversational idea. You and this person probably have something in common. If they're working there, they probably know something about this product as well. If you like video games, go and fucking talk to the guy standing at EB Games or GameStop about a certain game that you find interesting, right? Just go and do that. It doesn't need to lead anywhere. It simply helps you build your confidence. This is for people who are extremely scared of going outside, because I know that's a lot of you. This is what I would do. Those two things. Start with the conversation in the store thing, and once you kind of build your confidence up a bit that you can intentionally embarrass yourself, go out and intentionally embarrass yourself. But there's been a few women in my life that I've actually had to perform for. I know that sounds really, really wrong, but you get what I mean by that. I can't go up to them and act as awkward as I possibly can, right? If I want to date this girl, I need to be at my best. It might be your crush at school, your crush at work. It might just be an attractive girl across the street that you want to take out on a date. When you need to be the best you, these are the two things I have for you. Number one, and most importantly, you need to be, especially if you know this girl, like a crush at school, for example, you need to be the dude that actually attracts this person, right? You can't be a dude who sits in his room all day, jacking off 4 times a day and expect to, I don't like to say this because I don't really like to compare people, but a high value girl, right? A girl that is high value to you, if that makes sense. I know that's probably not the best wording, but you get what I mean by that. You need to be the person that this girl or this guy finds attractive, not just physically, but also spiritually, as your character, your personality, so many things. All you can do is be the best version of yourself, the best version of you. And usually that is attractive to a lot of people. The second thing I have for you, don't force anything, especially if you know this person personally. If I had a crush at school, right now I don't, but if I did, I would not force anything. I would not try and force a conversation, because someone's absence makes their presence valuable. And I want you to remember that. That doesn't mean that when an opportunity arises, you do not take it. However, don't force anything. And that's like the last day of school and you have no other chance to get with this girl, then you have to kind of force something. But if you know that you will see this girl every single day for a couple more months or a couple more years, speak to her. Yes, but spend the majority of your time. From my personal experiences, someone else might have a different experience and they completely disagree with me. Spend the majority of your time becoming the person she would actually be attracted to, AKA the best you. It's all you can do. You can't be anyone else. Because bro, you are the prize. I'm specifically talking to men here, but this can apply to women as well. The woman or the man isn't anything below you. However, you are the prize, and you have to value yourself like this. And that's why I don't want you to force anything. When you walk past her, just say, hey, name. If there is an opening for a conversation, take it. If she's talking to you, use that technique I shared with you at the start of this video. Yeah, reiterate what she's saying to go deeper into that conversation. One more thing. When you do talk to this specific person, I don't want you to seek validation from them. I don't want the point of the conversation, the purpose of that conversation, to be for validation from her. Right? I want you just to speak to him or her, just because you can, just for human connection, right? Nothing you need to prove. You don't need any admiration from this person, because once you put that pressure on yourself, that's when you start fucking up. You start stuttering, right? Your face starts going red, because the aim of the conversation has a lot of pressure built inside of it. Focus your energy on truly connecting. Again, that technique I shared with you at the start of this video is a very, very good way to do that. But you can only do that when you're halfway through a conversation, when there actually is an idea. I know if a girl asks me this, I would love it. People love talking about themselves. So if you're in a conversation with somebody, I want you to ask this one question. Tell me something about you that I should know. What makes you special? What makes you unique? What makes you different than everybody else? Yeah, you might not say this one off rip. You're looking at the girl sitting on a bench. You walk up to her, you sit down next to her and you say, hey, tell me something about yourself that makes you different. But especially when you're in a flow, this is a really, really good one. And any deep conversation, right, that really touches with the person's character, their personality, their values, their beliefs, their morals, all these things that really attend to somebody's deep personality traits, they are very, very good, because it goes deep into who they actually are. And people love talking about that, bro. Trust me. I know this sounds really, really wrong, and I've said this word so many times, but the deeper you go, the better, bro. Someone's gonna take that out of context heavy, but who gives a shit? But with all seriousness, the best conversation starters, at least from my personal experience, are the most natural ones. Okay, the ones that aren't really forced. The one I told you before, it kind of is a little bit forced. And sometimes you need to do that. But the best ones are the most natural. From my personal experiences, if I don't have a conversation starter, I don't start the conversation. If I'm cold approaching, then yeah, I might need to think of one, right? That isn't really natural. But especially at school or work, or if you see this girl regularly, if you see this guy regularly, don't force anything, because people can see that. And maybe some people like it because they love the attention. That just signals to them that you don't value yourself. And I know if a girl doesn't value herself and she needs me, I'm not as attracted to her. And that's out of pure love and respect. Doesn't mean I think anything less of this woman. But when you do find that natural conversation starter, or you just have one in your mind, take action, bro. Yeah, if you're feeling really, really confident on one day, do as much talking as you can, not too much. Because again, 2 ears, 1 mouth, speak less than you listen. But if you're feeling confident, take action, all right? I'm not perfect. I still have a long way to go. I'm only 18. I don't get to do much socializing, so I'm not the best at it. But from my personal experiences, this is what's really helped me become a better communicator. Remember, listening is the most important. Think of that, the foundation to the house. If you do not have that built, which is your listening, the whole house will collapse, which is your communication skills. Hey, I'm gonna end the video here. I think that's all I have to say. Make sure you take action on this, not just watch this video, okay? And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.